Let's go back to the top stories of the night. Breaking news out of both Portland, Oregon and Minneapolis, Minnesota. In Portland, 2 people have been hospitalized after a shooting involving federal agents. And that's according to the city of Portland. Senator Ron Wyden just posted online in part, quote, Trump's deployment of federal agents in my hometown is clearly inflaming violence and must end. But we do want to be clear with our audience about what we know. And MS Now has not confirmed what federal agents were involved in this shooting, but we are actively monitoring what is happening in Portland. Then in Minneapolis, protests for a second night in the streets. Look at this crowd that you're seeing. This is in response to the shooting of Renee Nicole Good by an ICE agent yesterday. Ms. Good died as a result of that shooting.
You know, Michael, I am not surprised to see that number of people turning out and protesting in Minneapolis. It has been my experience all day. I wonder if you have had the same, of people who ordinarily do not talk to me about news or politics coming up to me specifically to talk about what is happening in Minneapolis. I cannot explain to you exactly why it is, but something about this story has struck a nerve with people who ordinarily do not think it is neighborly to be talking about such things.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it's the nature of the story and what people saw. People saw what happened. So, yep. You know, there are other incidents that people can recall where they've seen action happen and the impact it has immediately on them sort of frames how they look at it. So all of the buffeting that you have happening right now by the administration, piling lie on top of lie, taking things out of order, name calling and shaming the victim here is not landing the way they wanted to, because of the very thing you just said. People saw it, people see it, and people are reacting to it real time. And what they're reacting to and the way they're reacting says they do not like it. They have a problem with it, Simone. And I think that that's a big part of the narrative. And now you're going to layer in Portland as this story unfolds and develops with 2 new shootings. That, again, narratively speaking for this administration, does not make it easier for them to make the case why these agents, federal agents, ICE, whomever, are on the streets in cities across America right now.
Yeah, we need to get the details about what's going on in Portland, and I know we're efforting to get it, because just hearing this story, it's like, well, were there 2 shootings? Was there a shooting? 2 people we know are hospitalized, and according to local officials in Portland, that was due to a shooting that occurred that involved federal agents. And so, to Michael's point, we don't know if it was ICE. We don't know if this was the DHS police, because there's this HSI. If you've seen HSCI, if you've seen the vests like we've had here in Washington, D.C., sometimes they have ICE vests on. Sometimes they have something different. Yep. Sometimes they don't have any insignia at all. What is striking me about all of these stories, and I think why it is resonating with folks, breaking
Simone,
right now, we're being told. Yeah, no, we all got the same information at the same time. Now, Homeland Security, the Department of Homeland Security is saying these were Border Patrol agents. It is important to reiterate that the Border Patrol usually only is allowed to operate within 100 miles of the U.S.-Mexico border. Okay, Portland is more than 100 miles from the U.S.-Mexico border. What are they doing? Well, CBP, Customs and Border Patrol, has been deployed all across this country. They were here in Washington, D.C. They were, in fact, in Chicago. They were in Portland, and we need to confirm. I don't know if they were in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now. We know ICE was, but what about the border agents? Last point I'll make is
they were sent there, Simone, to keep people safe. And all we have,
Alicia,
is more and more people who are not safe right now.
I don't feel safe. I don't think the people across this country feel safe seeing this chaotic news. And I think a lot of folks thought that this would never happen to them, that this was something that maybe it would affect the immigrant community, but not Americans. An American citizen is dead right now. A white woman in America was shot by ICE. I got to say it like that. Maybe that'll shake some people.